Today we're gonna dive into Open Great League and we're gonna check together the top 3 teams around Registeel that you can use for the current meta. Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and let's start off with Sebelai as a leader, with Pelipper as a safe switch, and Registeel will be on the line of 3 as a closer. I really recommend this team to you trainers since it is pretty safe to use, it almost guarantees success, and of course you have nothing to worry about because if you do not get the safest lead from your opponent, you can still go with your safe switch Pelipper and you can flip any matchup out there. But first let's talk a bit about Registeel because this video is all about Registeel. As you can see, it just came into the fight because my opponent decided to throw their Umbreon, and I just realized that I do not have Zap Cannon on this version of Registeel. You have to use Zap Cannon because it makes matches much easier, and of course you're gonna have a lot of better matchups against those water types in total. This Flash Cannon version though is pretty viable as well. You can always use it if you do not have a Zap Cannon. You can go with Flash Cannon instead of Elite TMing your Registeel. Here comes now the Dark Pulse, and you're gonna see that Flash Cannon really comes clutch since it charges up a little bit faster than Focus Blast and of course much faster than Zap Cannon, so it gives me the win scenario against this Umbreon despite the fact that they spent 2 seals in keeping that Dark Pulse version of Umbreon alive. You can see here that Pelipper really destroys down the whole HP from that Pidgeot, and now let's move forward into the next one with a very bad lead against this Snarl version of Alolan Mach. So here is where Pelipper really puts up the work and shines in total, since we can seal this Frenzy Plant, and now with Hurricane we can just nuke down that grass type. However, they block, and this is one of the few things that I enjoy about Pelipper. It has access to a nuke move. This nuke move can either take a shield or just nuke down the opponent, whatever they might have. You saw that the Pidgeot 1 matchup was absolutely awesome for us since that Pidgeot was taking neutral damage from the Hurricane. Down we got this point, but I want to say one more thing about Pelipper. It has access to Weather Ball, and a combination with a spammy move and a nuke move is also deadly for any safe switch out there, so you have a better chance to win that in between matchup, and if you play the mind games correctly you can flip that bad lead scenario or keep the lead scenario you want towards your advantage. Registeel right here is gonna do massive damage with the nuke, and you can see that right now we run Zap Cannon. The core breaker that I decided to have for this line of 3 is gonna be the Unova Stunfisk because that Pokemon really does a lot of work against my line of 3. Registeel absolutely destroys it down. You have nothing to throw at it, only Focus Blasts, and they are not gonna be enough, and of course against that Pelipper a pure discharge will be it. Overall, Sebelai is gonna close the match here with a pure return, so that's all for this line of 3. Now I want to showcase to you the Registeel team as a leader. This Pokemon catches the Flyers, catches Walreins, and of course Charmers and Azumarils all the time, so that's a pretty cool lead to have out there. You're gonna have at the back Trevenant, so this team might remind you a team from a previous video, and you are right, from the Trevenant teams this line of 3 is absolutely awesome and I really recommend it to you. It has one severe weakness though, because we have Medicham as well on the back line, and this is gonna be the opponent's Trevenant. If you are not gonna have the mirror, if you are not gonna go pretty hard on that Pokemon with back-to-back Zap Cannons, perhaps you might be in a tough position with your shields down Trevenant or with your Medicham as a closer, because you almost have nothing to throw with Medicham. However, against any other threat, I think that this team can absolutely shine, go pretty hard on the opponent, and you can see that despite having that core breaker on the Trevenant, perhaps, I repeat, perhaps something like a Fire Spin Charizard might prove to be pretty troublesome for you. But who plays that Pokemon? I think no one does, so you're gonna have a very good matchup overall. Power Punch here is just gonna add up in damage and provide us the damage that we need to finish off the Swampert and of course the Skarmory at the same time. Are you ready for the final one, trainers? Because I am, and this is gonna be a team you have most probably seen in the past. Okay, we're having a double steal at the back, led by this Venusaur. This is a pretty common team, a pretty standard team, but I have seen that people still play it with Bastiodon. Bastiodon is not the best out there currently because Zap Cannon is just gonna give that Registeel what it needs to absolutely surpass it even against the Flyers. So you're gonna have a better time overall in the meta with Registeel over Bastiodon. Here comes now the Stunfisk, which can just go with crazy earthquakes on the opponent, and you have to play this line of 3 in particular with an aggressive safe switch. Galarian Stunfisk is just gonna draw out what your Registeel is afraid of, most probably something like a Medicham or something like a Swampert, so you're gonna be in a very good spot overall, since after that lost matchup that you are most likely gonna have, don't spend a shield or anything, your Venusaur will just farm down that Pokemon and go with back-to-back Frenzy Plants on the opponent. This Zap Cannon now, it's just gonna do massive damage to the Dugong. The opponent knows that and they're just gonna block the move. Okay, Dugong is one of the Pokemon that can simply destroy down the grass types, but with a backline like this, you have nothing to worry about. Even when debuffed, you can see that Registeel is just gonna do a lot of damage to the opponent. So here comes now the Medicham, which has about 50% of HP, down it goes, and Venusaur will just come clutch since it can just finish off with a pure Frenzy Plant. This line of 3 really structures in switching in and out all the time. Do not be afraid in switching in your Stunfisk, do not be afraid in switching for a double, for a second time your Registeel into the fight, since you're gonna have a very good matchup overall. Here comes out the Politoed, which is what we said before. You want to bail out something like a Mud Bomber, something like a Mud Boy in total, or a fighter with your Stunfisk, so that your Registeel is gonna have a better time overall. And if you didn't know, Politoed might not be a ground type, but it carries the move Earthquake, so that can be really devastating for the opponent. Actually for you, not for the opponent, you are not having Politoed, right? Right. So at that point, you can already see that we are off to a very good start with Venusaur finishing off this Politoed and Registeel absolutely wrecking apart the closing scenario. That's all, trainers. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a fantastic time watching the video. I tried to keep it as simple as possible, not much complicated, because this is gonna be a Registeel video after all. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, it really means a lot, and I hope to see you all into the next time. Till then, just keep in mind that Registeel is gonna be the Pokemon that you might need into Open Great League. Take care, everyone!